For the first time in my life, there's so much possibility for me because I'm not stuck on what was done to me.
Yeah.
I am literally in a place where I can make change. I can make decisions. I can make different things happen. And I made it a point to do everything differently based on accepting where I was in that moment.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the harmoniously profound convo I had with Sunitha Sandeep.
That's a dual one.
I just want to say I said it very well in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to this interview, whatever, feel free to pause this now, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us. Sorry, my brain was thinking about, like, if there's a speech therapist who listens to this podcast, they're probably like, this girl I just want you to know, I did speech therapy. It's gotten a lot better. You should have heard it before.
You're doing great, babe.
Thank you. I had a lot of permanent teeth removed. I have a very small mouth and a big tongue. It's everything I do not to have a lisp. Okay. So we're working on it. Anyways.
Okay.
Well, I've been to speech therapy, and I just can tell sometimes I can't get some of those sounds together. So thanks for the people who put words together that I'm like, well, here we go. Today is August 17th, National Nonprofit Day. So go support your favorite nonprofit. If you don't have one, I've got two for you. Actually, I have a few for you. So Bloom organization helps girls who have been bullied handle that bullying, and also prepare them to understand and have empathy for bullies that are out there and rise above that.
Yeah, we support Bloom with OPC.
Yes. And then the Cupcake Girls are doing some badass shit when it comes to sex workers' rights and support. And also that involves actually supporting people who are trafficked, because human trafficking exists, because the reality is we make sex work illegal and then pimps get involved and shit happens. So go check out the Cupcake Girls and really understand that kind of work.
Yeah.
I think it's going to really change your mind around how sex work exists, why it exists, and how we can be more kind and loving to those in that industry.
We support the Cupcake Girls with Profitable Pilates.
Yes, we do. And they're just doing some awesome stuff. So shout out to both of those. However, if you're like, well, what about the homeless, Lesley? Hungry. Remember what was the one in LA? I just left my mind.
Hunger.
No, it was like
lunch
on me. Lunch on me. Oh my gosh,
that's
you guys.
a LA-based one. I think they may have a second location.
They have more locations, and they're doing some really great work. I really love them. People's Concern does work with homeless communities.
And if you have a favorite charity, today is National Nonprofit Day.
Yeah.
So support your local nonprofits.
And we'll post this on Instagram as well. So just like this episode, just toss your favorite nonprofits in there, because we're always looking for different nonprofits to support. So yeah, I would love to explore. And then we are still on tour.
We're still on tour now.
Thanks, Balanced Body. We're still on tour.
Yeah, it's true.
We are currently in Idaho. I think
the 17th. Yeah, we just finished Spokane and we're in Idaho, and we're going to be heading to Whitefish in 2 days.
In Idaho, we're just hanging out. So there's no class. You're not missing anything. My Idahoans, I love you. But we'll be in Whitefish, High Delia in a couple days, and we'll be in Salt Lake. And then we'll be City in Utah, and they'll be in St. George, Utah. And I just love how often we get to go to St. George, because there's just a favorite little cafe that I love to hit up. And I'm like, it's just so great. Then I come home for 7, maybe not even days. And then I'm in Poland.
Woo.
So you can take privates with me there. You can take some workshops with me there. I am bringing some flashcards there. I don't know that I'll be in Poland next year, you all. So this is it.
Make it happen.
For a bit. Then we'll come back And literally a couple days later, rock our 7-day coaching program agency. This is our Profitable Pilates program. It's our 9th iteration of this program. So it's just like a 9th edition, I should say. It's edition. And it's just a really awesome one. So you're going to want to make sure you go to profitablepilates.com/mini because
get on the wait list.
At
this point, it's available. So jump in.
Yeah, jump in. And then we wrap that up, hang tight for a couple weeks, hang out with our agency peeps, our OPC peeps, plan some stuff. And then we go to Cambodia, which some of you, I've just heard that we're doing Cambodia. So hi, we're going to Cambodia. Super excited about that. And then you can go to lesleylogan.co/retreat. November. At the time that we're recording this, we're still working on the details. It's possible that those details have like manifested themselves. So, if you are curious, go take a look at what we've got going on. And then December, we'll be back on the road for our winter tour, which we don't have all the details yet, but don't worry. By September, we will have a lot of things locked and loaded. So, my dear, before we go on to Sunitha, what is our audience question?
Yeah, so today we had a double header here. What are your favorite things to take on tour? And what are the things you miss the most about home while you're on the road?
Yeah, so this was super fun because obviously we are on tour right now and people are like, because it's a long time to be on the road and we are living out of our van. So obviously we're missing some things. So babe, what are you missing?
Well, I'm going to cleverly answer one thing for both questions, and that is the dogs.
We take the dogs when we can, and we miss the dogs when we can't.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Or that, and also I miss our latte machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do miss that.
I'm still trying to figure out how that's coming on the road with us. At the time this is being recorded, I have high hopes for this, but it is possible it is not with us, and we are stopping at random places. But that's what makes it, that's also what's so fun on the road, except for West Texas, you got to get it together. I'm just going to call you out right now. Also, West Kansas, East Colorado, you all need new latte places. I'm just saying it. Okay. But we do like our latte machine, but I'm working on it. I don't want to piss people off, but I'm just going to say it's a lot of cows or fields that could have them. And there's no milk. There's no lattes. So anyways, I will say my favorite things to take on the tour, obviously, I love to take the dogs when we can take the dogs. It really pains me.
It's so fun.
I hate leaving them behind. Bayonne looks at me every time I leave the house and I'm like, I know, I failed you. I did not figure this out. But I miss my red light therapy. I miss my PIMF mat. I miss the equipment because sometimes they'll take a window chair or a reformer or a spine corrector. So when we can take those things and I can actually take them out and do them, I feel really great. But like on this tour, it's not like we can just like unload equipment everywhere we're going. We're like literally sleeping in parking lots. So I am missing like access to my studio whenever I want it. I also will say this. When we're out on the road, I actually sleep really well when we don't have the dogs. I sleep really good. When we're on the road with the dogs, I sleep better than when I'm at the house. Because they don't get up when we're in the car.
That's true.
They stay. They have nowhere to go. So I sleep better in the van. Maybe we should sleep in the van with the dogs. Like maybe that's the thing. Anyways, other things that I love to take on tours or traveling, I should say. I have a Sensate. We actually have a discount code for the Sensate. I haven't created an ad for it yet, but I take my Sensate. It helps me fall asleep whenever I need to. It's just really calming. And it's just like a little thing you lay on your chest and just helps like your vagus nerve. And I just love taking that when I travel. And that's why I miss my red light therapy and my PIMF mat, because sometimes I use my Sensate with both of those things. I also miss our cactuses. And I miss our backyard.
I was thinking about that.
I actually miss our regular schedule. I love going to the gym at the casino. I think it's fabulous. I think it's so fun. I love our people we work out with. So of course I miss those people. And I miss our house and our bed. So I miss a lot of things when we're on the road. I'm gonna be really honest. I miss convenience for sure. But to take on the tour, I like to take a workout equipment I can, Sensate. I take any workout equipment I might need, or I get a gym membership. And those things, and then chocolate collagen and AG1. AG1 for the win. They're also sponsor of the podcast. We'll put the link below. But if I can have AG1 in the morning, some chocolate collagen in my latte at some place that has oat milk, and my Sensate, and I can get some steps in, I feel like we're good. we're good to go.
I love it.
Okay. Anyways, thanks for those questions. You can send your questions in to the Be It Pod. We love answering them. It's kind of fun to think about like what is our favorite thing. So thank you.
Okay, now let's talk about Sunitha Sandeep. Sunitha is a thought-provoking, transformational coach who helps women find their authentic selves, guiding them towards mindful awareness, acceptance, and a deep sense of balance. Sunitha it was really interesting to hear, how she works with people. She was talking a lot about the somatic.
Yeah. It's our third somatic person on.
System.
Y'all, somatics are like the thing.
Yeah. Well, also, I think when you, I think that this whole conversation about overload and overwhelm and how it's connected to somatics, I thought it was really interesting. Like I don't think I ever even heard of somatics until like a year ago. So
I know we have two good friends who are like very famous, amazing somatics people, but I can't talk about what I love. Like I love something you love, but we'll talk about it in a second. So I'm going to talk really quick. She talked a little about your livelihood doesn't equate to your passion and purpose. And I thought this is really interesting because there's so many people out there that are like, what did you love as a child? That's what you want to do as an adult. Or what are
you passionate about? You should do that and get paid for it.
You get paid for it. And like, she said it works for some people, but it doesn't have to work for everybody. And I couldn't fucking agree more.
Yeah, I talked about this before a couple of episodes ago where, when I was younger, I thought I will do whatever it takes to do a job to get paid the money I want to get paid so that I can do the things that I want to do. And the example I gave was I would shovel shit from one corner of the barn to the other corner of the barn if that was what brought in the money. And at the time I said, I'm not in on that. And I'm still not in on that. But I also think that, doing something that you're passionate about can actually destroy your passion for it if you're doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's like, read the book of like Big Magic. Like a lot of people you see making money off of a talent or a gift or a passion that they have, they didn't start out trying to make money. So like,
that's right.
They like the woman who wrote Big Magic, Eat, Pray, Love. Her name's coming to me. I'm sorry, guys. You're shouting it at me as you're driving. And Elizabeth Gilbert. Wow. So she was like, she did not actually give up her job as a professor at a university, even after Eat, Pray, Love was a best-selling seller. She didn't give it up until after even after she sold it to a movie. Like she did not give it up until she knew that like she wouldn't have to stress her gift, her passion to make money. It would be okay. And I loved her sharing that because I think it's so easy for us to think, oh my God, I write a book and I sell it as a novel and then it's this thing. And I actually taught another national bestselling author and I watched her. I had to see her negotiate that she loves what she does. And also there's all these demands that come with it. And like, it's this thing. So Sunitha said, I'm passionate about dancing, so I need to dance. And she said, no, you're passionate about expressing. And dancing is just one form of it. You can express it anywhere. And I loved that as well, because what if you injure yourself? And then you're like, oh my God, I can't dance anymore, so I'm nothing. And it's...
Well, also, I think she said that 100% there, you could hurt yourself, but she also said that your passion changes throughout your life.
Yeah.
So if you lock yourself in on this thing because you're passionate about it, what happens in 5 years when you're not as passionate about it? I mean, I feel like this happened for me with music. What I realized is that actually what I'm passionate about are people and building relationships and the puzzle, I'm passionate about puzzles. The puzzle of building a business, building a company was a similar puzzle as music, but I thought that like music was the end all be all and I have to be doing that. And so I went literally all 100% towards music. And after 10 years of pursuing that, I began to realize like, I don't necessarily need to be doing music as much as I love the act of doing music. I actually need to be building relationships and I need to be solving puzzles. And that's when, and that was not really clear to me at the time.
Yeah. So I think it's just like I just really enjoyed how she talked about that, because I do think we put a lot of pressure on like, what's my passion? What's my purpose? And like, I just keep coming back to like, there are plumbers in Boston making $1 million. I'm not sure that all of them were like, I'm so passionate. Plumbing is my purpose.
Right.
But they are successful plumbers and they are doing something. And so I just think I think she said it's a problem that we have. We put this pressure on ourselves to figure out our passion as our purpose, because that's what we're supposed to do for a living. No, you can do a lot of things for a living. And then you can have passion and purpose that are expressed in different ways. I mean, put so much pressure. I find myself like when I'm around like a teenager, I'm like, okay, so what do I talk to them about? Because I definitely don't want to ask them like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because fucking question's terrible. It's too soon. We should really be letting people explore like what excites them and showing them all the ways that thing that excites them can be expressed in multiple different ways, not just through dance.
Yeah.
Or not just through whatever it is.
I think her ultimate point about this was about being versus doing.
Oh, you were correct. Mm-hmm.
You know, and we end up doing because we think, oh, I'm passionate about this, so I'm going to go do this thing. And her argument here is, what if you be the thing instead of do the thing?
Well, I mean, hello.
And it's possible for them to overlap.
Yeah.
But they don't necessarily have to.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, you're being it till you see it. If you are listening to this podcast,
that's
you're
right.
On the place. I mean, that's why I had to have her on. Okay. What did you love?
All right. I thought this was just really profound here.
So profound. Hold on. Take your notepads out. Everyone pull over.
Pull over. Hold the phone. Okay. So we've all experienced the overwhelm, right? Where you just like completely, you just shut down. You want to bury your head in the sand. You're all the things. And she said, hey, there's a very different, there's a distinction, as a better way to say it, between being overloaded and being overwhelmed. And she said that being overloaded was basically you have too much on your plate. You got too many tasks, too many things. You got so much you can't even keep it all in your head. As opposed to being overwhelmed, which is an internal state that persists regardless of the situation that you're in.
Yeah.
And the example that she gave on that was, well, I went on vacation and I came back and I still feel terrible.
That's overwhelm.
That's overwhelm. As opposed to, like in the moment, there's too much to do right now to prepare for the thing. That's overloaded.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. I think we often misconstrue the two, where we feel, oh, I'm overwhelmed, but maybe you're actually overloaded. And once this, whatever it is that's happening passes, you're actually in a totally fine state.
I also think that burnout gets titled for both of these. So I like to talk with those agency members when they take a couple days off, like I feel better, I took a break. I said, congratulations. You are just overloaded. You had too many tasks. So let's do this. What can we take off the plate right now? Like you took a couple days off, like what can just be pushed to a different deadline? But if they take a couple days off and they're like, I'm still burnt out, then it's an overwhelm. And that's a couple things. Like that is how you are internalizing, as she said, or like how are you handling stress? If you are someone who thinks that like, if you take a break, everything's going to crumble, that is a state of being, as she said. Like this is where you actually do want to consider some sort of like somatic therapy or therapy in general, redefining how you actually engage with your work and the people around you. Because when we go on vacation, oh my God, as soon as we're on the fucking plane, I'm like, and I'm always so grateful. I'm like, okay, I was just a little overloaded. Good. But if I can't get my mind to turn off, I'm like, oh, I'm stepping back into some old patterns that I have wanted to let go. What's going on? And like, it's a sign for me that I have some work to do.
Yeah. She actually talked about people who feel stuck and how do you move past feeling stuck? Because it's easy to say this, but I think one thing you pointed out, which I thought was great, was you're like, well, that sounds so lovely to just like not be overwhelmed and not be overloaded anymore, but I still have all the fucking things that I got to do in life. And it's not like they're going to stop, And she said, yeah, people often feel stuck. And how do you move through that? How do you move past feeling stuck? And she said it could involve adjusting your environment, because we may associate negativity and trauma with environment. Also with PTSD, it's, like can also be, changing your environment can be beneficial in that. She said a little bit of neutralizing in that will give you a better foundation to build from moving forward. So sometimes that could be a vacation, actually, because you're not in your consistent routine.
You know how good I got at being not overloaded?
Tell me.
Saturday, when you called me and you're like, "Hey babe, are you on your way to the airport?" And I said, "Not yet. I'm going to have a bite to eat." And you're like, "You should be at the airport now." And I was like, "Oh." I got so relaxed.
Yeah, I'm glad I called.
Yeah, I'm so glad you called. I really would have missed that flight. I think y'all, if you normally listen to the recaps and then decide what to listen to, I'm going to be really honest. She has a TED Talk. This girl is a girl. She's an
sharp.
Amazing human. She is really sharp. She explains things in a way. I gave her some really, I felt like I have to okay, what the hell are we doing now? If we what are we going to do here? I still got shit to do. And she really had a great way of handling that. And I feel like I have always wanted to know. And this interview, I did this months ago, and I have been so impacted by it. It changed my whole way of understanding my own life, the things I'm doing. I was like, wow, I fucking got a therapy session. So I feel good about it. I think you guys should check out her shit.
Yeah, I mean, she has a program. She's a coach. She's an executive coach. And she works, I guess you don't have to be executive to do it, but she has a program with the pillars of AWAKE, AWAKE, which stand for awareness, within, action, kindling, and engagement. And if you're interested in her process, you can listen to the last episode where she does explain kind of each step, obviously not like the nuances of each step. That's why you would work with her, but like the bigger picture review of what those steps are.
I mean, I got so much out of just the interview.
Yeah, I mean, her purpose is to help you connect more with your authentic self, because we end up just getting busy with life and commitments, and like we talked about yeses and nos, in last episode, and so she helps you dig through that, connect more to yourself, and then decide, how do you enjoy life more,
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can you take away from your convo with Sunitha Sandeep? She said, go through the path of acceptance. That the number one starts from acceptance, period. And this was interesting. It's because out of context, that sounds a little strange. But basically, in order for us to move forward from being stuck in the thing that we are, overwhelm, overload, I guess it would be overwhelm, really, because overload is like short term, it seems like. In order to move, you have to accept where you are. And that is a hard thing, is to accept where we are. Okay, this thing is out of my control and it's happening and I have to do the things to whatever. But when you accept your current state, it helps you mentally, emotionally, and somatically.
Oh, 1,000%. 10 years ago when I was homeless, and then I totaled my car leaving that house that I was no longer living. And then the studio called to change. None of this happened the same day, guys. It kind of happened over a few weeks. At any rate, I just remember going, okay, I'm not going to blame anyone. I get it. I'm accepting that I'm in this place. I somehow made decisions that got me here. And so what do I do next? And it was the fucking best thing in my life. People literally thought I was a lunatic. When you do this, people are going to think you are a crazy person, you guys. My friends were like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm phenomenal. Because for the first time in my life, there's so much possibility for me because I'm not stuck on what was done to me.
Yeah.
I am literally in a place where I can make change. I can make decisions. I can make different things happen. And I made it a point to do everything differently based on accepting where I was in that moment. Not making excuses, just this is where I am. What can I do? I get where I am. I'm part of this. And it changed. I was fucking couch surfing and I had the best days of my life. People were very worried. And I was like, You be worried. I'm not worried. Like it's the best thing. If that's all you take from this, it's like, accept where you are. Like really, truly see what happens when you just do that for one day.
Yeah. And it's not easy to do that,
No.
but when you can, and when you do that, and you actually take a step and look at yourself from the side, it leads to awakeness, okay, which is her AWAKE program, her process. So, and it helps you, it's going to help you like reevaluate things and find a different path.
And just
forward.
really quick, it's also not easy to be doing the life you're doing if you're feeling stuck.
That is very true. And I think we keep doing the things that we're doing, even if they may be detrimental to us, because we feel safe with what we know.
Yeah.
And
the enemy
it's scary.
you know is scarier than the enemy you don't.
That's right.
Choose your hard, bitches.
All right. What about you?
I mean it with all the love. Okay. So of course, need to shift. She emphasized needing to shift definition of success and wins. Listen to FYF, people. I promise you, every Friday that's tomorrow when this episode comes out, it's the next day, I share people's wins. Some of them are huge. And some of them are like literally like, I told someone no today. I freaked out a little bit, but I didn't back down. You have to redefine your definition of a win.
Yeah.
You have to redefine your definition of success. And what's kind of crazy is like, I hate like, what is your definition of success? I'm like, I'm living it. So like, why don't you ask me why I'm successful? Because I am. And some of us, because we've been trained, like, what's your definition of success? It's if you're never going to reach it till you retire. And the truth is, you may have already, but you haven't taken the time to understand the wins you've made. And so like, of course, there's changes I want to make. There's the things I want to do. There's still some things I want us to have with our business and the impact we want to make. But we're very fucking successful right now because I've changed the definition of what success looks like. So do that. And then, there's a couple things. She encourages to see the act of trying itself as a win. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Yoda, you're wrong. And I know all my Star Wars people. Katie, don't hurt me.
Rachel, we love you.
Rachel, I love you. Who else I have to apologize to?
Well, I think this goes to habit building too. Like even if you attempted the thing, but you didn't do the thing, you still attempted the thing.
If you remember the thing that you wanted to do, it's a win. It is a win.
Yep.
The shift that needs to happen is that it's a win. Is because I tried. It's a win because I tried. So I hope that maybe we need to come up with a journal. Babe, Meredith, we need a journal. We need a wins journal so our listeners can have a wins journal and that every day they can just write a win of the day down. Maybe the win is you didn't freak out on yourself. Maybe the win is that you hit traffic and you didn't yell at the car next to you. I don't care what the win is. We have to start acknowledging on all the wins that are happening because this happens in agency. Somebody posted like a rant and it was totally fine. She's like, whoever will listen. I'm like, absolutely. That's what it's for. And then I went to the wins channel and they had not posted a win.
What?
And I had to go back and say,
Illegal.
I had to say, thank you so much for sharing this. You got to go post a win because not everything is shit. Thanks. And she did. And it was a great win. But it's so important that you understand that the universe is balanced. It really is. But if you focus on your wins, you see them everywhere. It's like when I focus on desert flowers, I see desert flowers everywhere. Everywhere. Anyways, I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for listening. How are you going to use these tips in your life? Are you going to redefine success for yourself? I hope so.
You should.
Let us know what your new definition is by tagging the Beit Pod, tag Sunitha. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is produced and edited by the epic team at Diseño.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Chofi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals and Samena Velazquez for our transcriptions.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all the content to our website. And finally to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.